Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're tying this little Calvin shrimp tube. Really effective little pattern, beginning and end of the season. Certainly the orange and pink mix is one to attract salmon. So let's get stuck right into this and see how it goes. So in the tube adapter folks, we've got 19mm of orange sparkly Sean Stanton tube with an orange inner tube, a little bit of super glue on, and then in with the fire orange 80. Just building up some thread to reduce the bump, if you like, between the tube points so that there's a nice smooth transition, and obviously locking the tubes together with the super glue, then progressing up onto the bigger bit of tubing, cutting away the excess at this point. At this stage we'll just come in with some gold wire. This is effectively going to form a tag on this. I'm basically going to run the thread up to, I'm going to say about 1/3 to halfway up the bigger bit of tubing, and then come in with 3 to 4 turns and lock this in. Okay, now we'll turn to the dubbing side of things. This is a really nice dubbing to use. It's an orange Glister sparkle dubbing. Obviously goes nicely with the tube as well. Keep this nice and thin folks. You want a nice flat body, not big and bumpy. So take your time here and build this up as you move forward. I would take this right up to where it joins the two tubes, so that when you start to tie in your other materials, that transition is really nice and the whole thing stays nice and compact. And once you've brought your dubbing to the transition point and you're happy and it's all nice and tidy, you can look to bring your wire up, which is obviously forming the rib for this as well. 3 to 4 turns, and then looking to lock this in at the front nice and tight, and then bend and break away when you're ready to do so. At this point, what I like to do is get the trusty dubbing brush out and then just brush out some of that dubbing flowing back the way it just adds to the fly, a little bit of extra movement. Any big excessive pieces you can cut away as well. Okay folks, coming in with a wing at this point. This is Bucktail, orange and pink rolled together, nice little pinch of each, and you want this just off the back of the tube. As you can see, getting a couple of wraps in and pulling up on the waist ends to make sure this sits nicely on top, and then also pressing it with my thumbnail, keeping it nice and flat so it ties in nicely. Then you can move in and chop away these waist ends nice and tight up against the thread. Come in with some super glue, lock all this in with a few turns, keeping it all nice and tidy. And then at this point you're going to come in with one strand of pearl crystal flash and one orange mirror flash, about the same length as the bucktail, if not a little bit longer. Just catch these on top if you can catch them, and then fold these back. Once you've folded these back, got them nicely caught in, you can cut away your tag ends so you've got the two pieces left. Okay, so at this stage you're going to come in with 2 small pinches, and I mean small, of Artic Fox, orange and pink, one on top of the other. Comb out any underfur and catch these on top. You want these halfway into the bucktail approximately to give you that nice teardrop shape. Again, thumb on the top, get it nice and flat and cut away nice and tight up against the thread, keeping everything nice and tidy. Back in with the trusty super glue if you wish to give this a bit more durability and longevity. Again, nice and tidy turns, locking everything in, keeping the front nice, flat and compact. Okay folks, so at this point coming in with an orange Brama whiting cock hackle, catching it in by the tip. I've created a catch point and getting this nice and snug up against the Artic fox and where we finished off. Running the scissors up both sides of the hackle so this will fold nicely, and then coming in with some nice tight turns, straight turns up against the rest of the materials, keeping this nice and flush. Totally up to yourself as to how heavy you want this, and again obviously depending on the fibre, so I will leave that very much up to you. And once you're happy with what you've got, create a space and catch this in, a couple of turns, keeping everything nice and tidy, and then you can look to chop away your excess and tidy up whenever you're happy to do so. Okay folks, last thing to go onto the fly as far as materials go, two nice jungle cock eyes that are a good size, nicely balanced, and would aim to have these flowing down the sides, very much in parallel with the tube I would suggest. Just make sure you've got them nice and even, you're happy with how they're sitting before you lock these in and look to cut away your excess points. Once you're happy you've got everything nice and tidy, you can come in and whip finish off. 4 or 5 turn whip finish would be suggested, and do your best not to catch the hackle the way that I was doing there. So at this point folks, coming back in with the super glue all the way around your nice tidy thread turns. Make sure this is nicely applied, don't get it on any of the fibres though. And then you can look to apply your cone head, turbo disc, whatever it is you're going to add. Just make sure at this point folks you've got this nicely pressed onto the front of the fly, nice and secure up against all the materials. Then you can chop away a bit of the tube at the front, leave a couple of mil, and then you can burn this down. Let the tube melt, do not set the fly on fire, it's ill advised. Blow it out, leaving a little bit at the front exposed, and then you can make sure that you have not closed the hole using the sharp end of the tube adapter pin. As always folks, hope you enjoyed that great little pattern for Atlantic salmon. As always, drop a like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that sort of good stuff. Here Hear from you soon, and cheers.